Srimate Ramanujaya Namaha. After getting elevated as great philosophers, rulers, scholars, businessmen and technocrats, now we are bothered about our own foundation, that is humanity and humanism. We have been given all of these designations, but we have lost something, and yet we are searching for humanity and humanism, which is indeed a deplorable and pitiable situation. Humanity, that generally denotes all mankind, but specially focuses on the subtle meaning which deals with the attributes of human nature. That is, humanism is what we call here as humanity. And humanity is very much seen. Humanity is not totally invisible, but humanity has taken a wrong shape, anthropocentric, only humans. Anthropocentric humanity. Second is emotional attachment or affinity towards their own fellow beings. That is also humanity. Unstable humanity, fragile humanity, fragmental view of humanity. And we are having complete version of humanity which is uninfluential. They could not influence others and create a panoramic view of humanity in the entire society, or at least in the majority of the society. That remains inert or uninfluential. So what we need is a cosmocentric humanity. Humanity may be projecting humans alone. Only as responsible persons humans are projected. And in the beneficiaries list of humanity, all life forces and life supporting forces, including the basic elements of the world, they are included. So it is cosmocentric. It's not emotional but productive. It's not fragmental but complete. It is not fragile, but it is very sturdy. It's very influential also, and it is stable. So this version of humanity is very much essential to build this world. First, understanding the definition and functions of humanity is much essential. The rudimentary understanding itself is well understood only by people, those who are divinely blessed. Because humanity in its real definition is inclusive of its generator, guide, guardian and goal, which is known as divinity. How is it? You should understand, humanity is prone to ills, errors and evils. To eliminate the errors and evils and to enrich the effective permeation of humanity, you need the guidance and guardianship of divinity. So, mere humanity or mere human structure is lifeless, tasteless and useless. We need a divine outlook. You need a divine base. Divinity only makes humanity sustainable, sensible and solid, and religion is the real phase of humanity, and religion provides the real source of humanity. And we have to spiritualize the humanity, because I have already told, divinity is the taste giver, it is a coloring agent, it is the developing agent, it is the additive, it is a power enhancer of the human structure and human nature. So they should be spiritualized. Spiritualization means it denotes three different channels. One is through principles, second is through procedures, and third is through power. Through principles, we can spiritualize people through the systems of ethics, morale and values. Somebody is teaching ethics. Somebody is embedding the value system. Embedding the value systems in their education, in their way of life, in their family life. So embedding value systems. And also teaching about the functions of morale. All these things comes under principles. Spirituality incorporated through principles. Second is through procedures and the wisdom behind. It is possible through incorporation of religion and philosophy in an inculcatory syllabus. Through religion and philosophy, we can go to spirituality by following the procedures and the wisdom behind it. Third is power. How to get spiritualized? By means of realization, revelation, and radiation. Realization comes out of your seasoned maturity, and revelation is nothing but a mixture of innate goodness and infinite grace, and radiation comes by a realized person or from a revealed source by touch, association, preaching, or anything, whatever you call it as. So by principles, by procedures and power, different channels are approaching the society for spiritualization. In this context, spiritualization is entirely different. What is spiritualization? The abode of inexhaustible enthusiasm and energy, the birthplace of relentless endeavor, and the estuary of infallible effect. That is known as spirituality. Spirituality is contextually nothing but enthusiasm, energy, endeavor, and effect. And to brief, it is to make the soul functionally alive, active, and accomplishing. This is spirituality. This is what we have to bring, and this is what every religion is meant for. This spirituality, in its different forms that we see amidst us, as some sort of adulterations or alloyments inside. Spirituality is allied with customization, spiritualization and customization, with very simple trials like spiritual healing, and then spiritual astrology, prediction and prophecies, spiritual counseling, like that. The great spirituality, we cannot say that they have been simplified, but they have been brought to a very basic or mean level, thereby not functioning as an effective ladder to reach that level. Simplification should make us to get us into that simplified format, enabling us to reach the heights of spirituality eventually or gradually. But the present traits of spirituality in the simplified form takes away from the orbit and axis of spiritual moorings and elevation. So simple trials, individualization, spirituality hidden or buried inside systems and groups, not catering to elevation, is a curse for spirituality. Now what we have to do? We are discussing about spiritualizing humanity. Now we have to start with the humanizing spirituality, because inhuman and subhuman elements are immersed in the spiritual kingdom or industry. What is inhuman and subhuman nature? Bothering others is inhuman nature. Not bothering about the botheration of others is subhuman nature. So these two natures and their corresponding elements buried inside the realm of spirituality is a big curse. And spiritual industry is a vast and fast growing industry, and it is very difficult to search, identify, segregate and solidify absolute and altruistic spiritualism. And I have to confess and honestly submit that neither the projects of the scholars and prayers of the seekers can architect this development. There are specialists and experts who are meant for this transformation, and all others are inscribed to be their followers. We have to work and worship for the emergence of such exclusively potential authorities who are going to architect this transformation, who are going to architect the real transformational era of spiritual might. That is much essential. And how does the world function? We are talking about innumerable things: empowerment, development, rectification, architecture, repairing, remediation, governance, whatever you name it as, it needs power to do. And power should be shielded with authority. Both should be directed by humanity. Humanity should be led by spirituality. It is the hierarchic control that is much essential for a livable and worthy world. But now it is not so. Everything is segregated and totally contradicting each other even because of the basic errors. What is the basic error? Anybody coming for desire with power or authority, anybody approaching power and authority, anybody fighting for power and authority, we are seeing that their ultimate aims are just swindling the resources and suppressing the opponents. With the basic error, how we can maintain this hierarchy? So this is the first error. That desire, approach and fight, whatever they do in this realm of power and authority, it is only to swindle others' resources and suppress their opponents. Second is, even service, struggle and sacrifice of benevolent personalities are misappropriated and encashed for personal, party, group and dynasty enrichments. They are misattributed. Third thing, this situation is coupled with the fascination, fanatism, either religious, linguistic or caste fanatism. Fascination, fanatism, subservience and silence of the beneficiaries or subjects of the nation. The beneficiaries of power and authority, they themselves, they are covered with fascination, fanatism, subservience and silence instincts. How they can architect development in the society. And finally, we are seeing the same situation in the society. Similar people are crowned, same situation is continued, and occasionally they are replaced with equal or worse elements. So unless we rectify these basic errors, not only with the rulers but also with the respondents, we cannot create this hierarchy of benefit from power and power led by authority, power and authority driven by humanity and everything instigated or ignited by divinity. This hierarchy can be just imagined or lamented. It is very much essential for us to see that it is brought. How we can bring? We are saying about the reach of multimedia. It attracts everybody. We are communicating to masses and we are captivating their minds. How to reach the subjects and how to captivate their minds? We need a mind-to-mind communication. There are two types of communication. Exploiting the weakness of minds. Second is enhancing or stimulating the strength of minds. Spiritual communication. The existing communication which is trapping the mass is exploiting their weakness. We have to replace it with enhancement of their strength, empowerment of the world by the emanation of their consolidated strength. If that is multimedia, this is known as mega media. A spiritually realized person's communication, address, call and cry to the world exhibited by his genuine most wish, that is said to be mega media, that will echo in every heart, indelibly inscribe the message of the mission in everybody's heart. That mega media should take charge. And the whole world should be dominated at least by a handful of spiritual warriors, those who are meant for changing the souls of the society, willing to really establish the kingdom of peace in the world. They should be given significance, they should be given space in the society, they should be given all possible supports. And third is to create mass force for making change in the ruling systems. The rulers may change because of 4 reasons we say. One is fairness. If they get realization about fairness, they may change. For creating fame and loyalty, they may change. But these 2 opportunities are rare. Fairness to get reflected in the rulers has even not got the remotest possibility. And fame, they can beget the same fame by alternate measures, and they are not interested in this type of beneficial fame and real loyalty. They are not interested. The other 2 opportunities are to create fear and force. Create fairness. If not, create at least fame and loyalty as tools so that the rulers can be beneficial to the society. If that is not there, create fear inside them of dethronement, punishment, whatever it is. If even they are not afraid, create your own force and however audacious they may be, throw them out. And in order to create that sociomorphosis, create this revolutionary force that can enforce dethronement of such rulers, create fear inside the rulers so that they have to change or otherwise they will be changed. Such circumstances can be created only by a spiritual revolution. Social revolutions are half-baked. They are intermittent. They give only interim benefits or they give only partial benefits. A great spiritual revolution can only provide sustainable benefits. And spirituality, for team making, they have to target their targets. There are three groups of people waiting for you: those who are prepared, those who are preparable, and those who are repairable. Prepared people may be handful. Preparable people are in thousands. There are millions of people, those who are repairable, preparable, and who will remain prepared whenever you call. So this target identification and making is much essential, and you have to immediately initiate it. For everything, what we need is sustainable spiritual vigor, inflow as well as outflow. If there is a confluence of that sustainable vigor inside you, you can constantly work. If the same inflow becomes an outflow, if it reaches this society, the outflow will create a great mass for your support. It is only a hint or an indication. Following the hint with hope, following the indication with initiative, ignition, and uninterrupted action, let us hope that we will achieve the same in the nearest future. Narayan, Narayan, Narayan.